Alright, sure. What's up, people? How's it going? Toki here once again. I'm gonna come to you with something different. I'm sitting here smoking still, and well, because of my last video, I decided I was gonna make one. This time, I'm gonna make one on Islam. So I don't intend on offending anybody, but I'm sure I will. So
No, I'm sure you won't. I will probably be the one that will offend somebody.
so I'm gonna start off by saying, pick a bowl, park a bowl, smoke a bowl, sit back, enjoy the conversation, and let's go from there. So let me take a hit first, and I'll get this thing going.
I'm going to go make a hit too.
Now, first of all, I'm going to talk about what exactly a cult is. A cult is a false persona. It's a fake idea. It's a group of individuals who come up with an idea, kind of like a club, and then they have beliefs that they try to push upon others. One of the most basic guidelines of a cult is, well, death if you leave. You know how many cults we hear in the world today that hunt its ex-members down? You see, this is your primary problem with Islam. All the time you hear them say that Islam is a peaceful religion, that it's not allowed to hurt or lie. Well, the problem is their own Quran says differently. The problem is their own Quran talks about their own Quran talks about how it talks about how the Islam religion can lie in order to conform. It talks about how it's allowed to lie in order to get people to buy into their so-called faith. And then if they fail to conform an individual, they're supposed to, by their Quran, they're supposed to remove that individual's head from the neck up. You see, it's hard for me to understand how a religion can be peaceful when you have a Quran that has over 109 different passages
197 passages
of murder, of death, and of hate. Now, what a lot of people say is, well, so does Christianity. Have you ever read the Bible? And I say, here's the thing. The Old Testament had a lot of hate, had a lot of nasty sin in it. Unfortunately, Christianity has a New Testament, and it doesn't really have all that hateful stuff. It talks about loving your neighbor and praying for people, not chopping off their heads. You see, my question is, does Islam have a New Testament to the Quran? Or is it the same Quran they've been using for 1,000 years? And here's another thing. Why is it nobody is talking about the 11 million people inside slavery today held by Islam? How come nobody's talking about the millions of black people held all over the world as slaves by Islam or Islamics? You see,
the slave auctions. I watched on there. They were doing slave auctions over in England, and they were selling women for $100 and a carton of cigarettes. That's a 13-year-old girl with a chain and a rope and a chain around her neck, and chained on her feet and ankles and wrists. And she's being sold to the first person gives $100 and a carton of cigarettes.
You've got mail.
yep. And that's happening all over the world today. And so it strikes me as funny that here in America we think it's Islamophobic and we call it a religion. Well, if your religion says you can sleep with 12-year-old girls, you can marry 12-year-old girls, have multiple wives, and have sex with goats, it's not a religion. If your religion says you can chop off the heads of individuals who don't believe what you believe in, it's not a religion. Nor does your cult believe in a country where we, the people, have a freedom of religion, which means you can't go around cutting off our heads for not believing in your cult. Okay. Next, I'm just going to remind you guys that even in the Islamic cult, its Quran refers to Allah as the king of the underworld. Allah is literally translated several times, and one of those translations is the king of the underworld. Now, if you look in the Hebrew or the Holy Bible, the translation of this is the king of the underworld is translated into Satan himself. So, when you're looking at all of these aspects, and then you take in consideration that their own symbol, the crescent moon,
And the fallen stars.
and the fallen star represents the fallen angel from the heavens above. When you take in consideration of the hate, the violence, the terrorism that they push worldwide, the fact that they have truly are like cockroaches that infest a nation and then suffocate its resources until that nation is no more. And now we have these so-called radical Muslims.
And they've been also destroying beautiful art all over the place. 2,000-year-old art
It's
destroyed.
not just art, it's history.
History totally annihilated.
And that's the thing, is once they get into office, and that's what's happening right now, now they're in office.
Yep, that's why we're losing all of our statues.
Now these individuals are pushing for Sharia law in places like Minnesota, Minneapolis. And American citizens are going to jail for handing out Bibles inside these Sharia zones. There are over 300 sites of sanctuary around this country. 300. Where individuals are literally pumped in. What group are you live on? I'm in my YouTube, Hot Politics. And so these individuals are brought in. They come to our countries. They're shipped in here, oftenly used through the refugee program. And now we have them representing American rights, representing American laws. and they're supposed to be okay with how we want to live, all of which time you see laws being passed that are completely ridiculous as they attempt to remove beef off the freaking menus of our schools, as they attempt to change our way of life to conform around theirs. See, that's how they're running it, because that's what they always do. They group together like cockroaches and they suffocate a nation until it's dry and there's nothing left. That's why the Islams and the socialists and the left have so much in common, because they're all interested in sucking you dry like vampires. So we all have to make common sense when it comes to what's right for the future of our nation. We have to understand that we cannot sit back and allow people like Kamala Harris to be our president, or Bernie Sanders to be our president. Because if we lose our capitalism, if we lose our economic freedom, we have literally lost the American dream. And if we lose the American dream, what's the point? America's become just like any other and every other country in this world. And we cannot allow America to just be any other country in this world. So, again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great evening. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like, comment, all that good stuff. Hit that bell for notifications and yada, yada, yada. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Tokey out.